getting his lawyer to sue us.
Are you sure?
He's taking the legal route.
Oh my God.
And he's gonna make an example out of us.
I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
I would love to hear this.
So would I.
You know what he actually did? Doug went and filed a fake copyright strike against our video. So where do I begin? I guess we should first clarify one thing. Salisha and I are not liberals. I know some of you think that in the comment section because of the last video we made about Doug and Stacy. So just to clarify, we are not liberals. So a lot of you might have thought that based on the video we made for some reason. I guess you guys just assume that anybody who criticizes somebody you don't like, automatically they must be on the opposing side. We are actually very conservative and we are God-fearing. So now that that's out of the way, we need to clarify a couple of things and set the record straight. And not only that, but we're also gonna go over some of your comments and answer those questions. That way you guys will get a better feel of why we made this video. Before we get into any of that, I also wanted to point out something which Salisha and I found pretty interesting. And that is that a lot of Doug and Stacy's followers that commented about the video we made about them, a lot of you seem to think that because we criticize Doug and Stacy, you guys automatically get an excuse or a reason to make racial slurs and bring race into this when it was never about that. But it's very, very eye-opening. So just because we happen to talk about your cult leader, you guys somehow think it justifies you guys bringing race into it. And a lot of you have been trying to bring religion into this, and I get it because we made a comment in the video about how Doug especially is resorting to talking about the Bible and talking about God when it suits his needs, and the TSC event was a perfect example. It's really interesting because based on a lot of the comments that people have been leaving about that last video we made about Doug and Stacy, actually the link to that video is going to be in the comment section below. So if you haven't seen that, you might as well check that video out first so you kind of understand what I'm talking about. A lot of people have actually wrote comments about their experience. Mainly I've noticed with Doug than it is with Stacy, but I've noticed a lot of people have mentioned that they've asked questions to Doug in the past, or in the comment section they'd be talking to Doug, and if they just so happen to disagree on one thing, that Doug would cuss them out in the comments section and make them feel stupid. We've had a lot of really, really big off-grid and homesteading channels. I won't mention them by name because we've had a lot of private conversations that I'm not gonna put out there, but just so you guys know, we've had channels that are just as big or even bigger than Doug and Stacy reach out to us and say, hey guys, thank you very much for making this video. We agree with you guys almost 100%, and we've had our own issues with them in the past. And they go into giving us examples. Like, people have tried to ask him questions, or they ask like, hey, how are you doing this when you're in this and this situation? And instead of actually answering their questions, Doug attacks his viewers. Like, we had one person actually write a comment and say, hey, I tried to ask Doug some questions one time and he started yelling and swearing at me in the comment section. And it's funny, and then Doug has been all over our video reading like every comment, and he wrote back to that person and called them a retard and started calling them idiots and swearing at people. And a lot of those comments actually, they got reported to YouTube. And once they get reported, those comments automatically disappear from the comment section. So I'll try and go back and find some of those, but if I don't put them on the screen, that's why, is because if they're inappropriate, YouTube removes them completely so other people can't see them. So he's in the comment section swearing at other YouTubers, and we had one really, really big YouTuber tell us he met with Doug. And when he was talking to Doug face to face, he told us verbatim that Doug told him out of his own mouth that Doug doesn't believe one word that comes out of his own mouth. So all the videos that he makes and the stuff that he's preaching to people, he told us that Doug told him to his face that he doesn't even believe any of it, not even remotely. Then this guy is Idaho Hillbilly, whatever his name is, he got a hold of our video and decided to make a reply to our video. Why? Because our video got, at that time, 75,000 views in less than a week. So the opportunists like him were like, oh, let's jump on it and make a video. I find it very suspicious too that he also mentioned Doug came to his place and visited him, and this Idaho Hillbilly has also been accused of not actually living in that shoebox of a what they call a house. He is also, him and his wife, been accused of living in another property, but they come to this shoebox and make videos and rant to people about how this is achievable. You can live off-grid and live in a shoebox and have a tarp as your roof.
We'll probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
I find it very odd that Doug is friends with other people who have also been accused of misleading and lying to people, and those people who wear costumes just to convince you that they're actually legit and that this is what they do. We had one person actually tell us that they know for a fact that Doug and Stacy live across the road in a subdivision, and they actually own a really nice big house that is fully on grid, and they just literally walk across the road and come to the shoebox and film a couple of videos and convince you guys that they're actually living this lifestyle, when in reality they're not. We've had people write comments about, hey, did you see the new, or not new, but did you see that Doug is doing another giveaway and giving away a pickup truck?
I know it looks a lot rougher now than it did in the thumbnail, and the reason for that is the termites quit holding hands and the whole thing just about fell apart.
And people they're actually very suspicious of it.
But as you can see, we got a 6-cylinder in here. It's complete. The key is even in the old ignition, so I believe she was a runner when she was parked.
Because this is the second time he's done these giveaways. First it was supposed to be the log cabin kit. Who got it? I guess his mom. And somebody came in the comment section and said, hey, did you guys see that video where he announced who he was gonna give the F-150 to? And he ended up giving it to a family friend. You know why they're doing this? Because a lot of you might not realize, but email lists are very, very, very important and valuable to companies and businesses who are selling products. So let's say, for example, I own a company that sells homesteading equipment and tools. In order for me to make a lot of sales, one easy way is to have a mailing list with, let's say, 50,000 or 100,000, 200,000 emails of actual homesteaders. So when you send an email promoting your products, it's not just going to any Joe Blow, it's going specifically to people in your niche. So if I'm selling homesteading equipment and I end up buying an email list from Doug and Stacy with all of their followers on there, so when I send an email promoting some product, sending spam, chances are people will buy my product because there is other homesteaders or off-grid people in that email list. So that's why you see Doug and Stacy doing email lists and collecting people's email, because, oh, I need your information to get a hold of you when you win. Is it that, or I need your name, phone number, and email address so that I can sell it to these companies and make like hundreds of thousands of dollars just selling an email list. So one of the main things that people will always talk about is,
you guys must support the tranny story hour,
or whatever it's called, with what the LGBT is doing with the story reading time in the libraries. And that's what actually got everything going, because Doug made a video telling people that TSC was supporting the trannies and they're going into public places and touching your kids and all this stuff, and that's how this all got started. So a lot of you are in the comment section saying,
what, do you guys support the tranny story hour?
It's weird that we have to even mention this. Like, okay, let's say TSC did support it, right? Why is everybody all of a sudden in the past like 6 months constantly attacking TSC? TSC is one of the most important stores if you are a homesteader, off-grid, even a farmer. You get all your supplies from there. You get tools, you get equipment, you get pretty much anything you can look for on there. We even bought our chicken plucker from there. We buy a lot of stuff from there. So I find it very odd, a store like TSC, which supplies all of us in this community, even people that aren't in this community are actually, TSC is a huge resource for a lot of people, that we're focusing on TSC out of every other corporation out there that supports the LGBT. And actually find me one company that doesn't support the LGBT. I'll wait. No, seriously, I'll wait. Find me a company that does not, a corporation that does not support the LGBT. Salisha and I's whole point about this whole TSC thing and Doug and Stacy is that I don't see Doug and Stacy boycotting their bank. I don't see Doug and Stacy boycotting the grocery store. I don't see Doug and Stacy boycotting any other corporation but TSC. Like, I find that very, very odd. Then he made a video when he was when the whole TSC chicken feed fiasco was going on. He made a video about that, and you watch the whole, it's like a 12-minute video. He spent the first 10 minutes of the video fear-mongering and implying that it's true, and then the last 2 minutes he's like, oh yeah, it's not true. It's probably most likely not true, and TSC is not doing anything to your feed. So back to TSC and the whole tranny thing and the tranny story hour, whatever it's called. Are you boycotting your grocery store? Are you gonna stop going to your grocery store because your grocery store supports the LGBT? So of course you're not gonna do that, right? So why single out TSC? Because it got you views, right? It got the ball rolling and it got people talking on your channel. I don't see Doug and Stacy protesting when the LGBT is in your local libraries reading to your kids. I don't see him boycotting the library, right? But TSC, for some reason, he has an issue with that, and we need to boycott TSC out of every other corporation in the United States that supports the LGBT. And like I said, find me one corporation that does not support the LGBT. So if you're not gonna go boycott your bank, your grocery store, and every other store that you go to, I would say like the store you buy clothes from, but the guy buys his clothes from an Amish store so he can pretend he's Amish. Like, do you guys really think it's a coincidence that all these people have come out and called him out for not actually living on their property? So I found it very ironic too. Like, if you need any more proof this guy's a compulsive liar, after we put out our video, he made like 3 consecutive videos, not specifically about our video, but he talked about us in his 3 videos consecutively after we put out ours. And in those videos, one time he told his subscribers that he's getting his lawyer to sue us, and his lawyer is involved now, and he's taking the legal route, and he's gonna make an example out of us.
What are you wearing?
Huh?
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing clothes.
When you come into my court looking like you do, you not only insult me, but you insult the integrity of this court.
I apologize, sir, but this is how I dress.
Next time you come into my courtroom, you will look loyally.
And you know what he actually did? Doug went and filed a fake copyright strike against our video. Not to imply what we were saying was wrong or that we were attacking him personally or anything like that. He went and took a copyright strike claiming that we stole his video that we have running, kind of like clips from his video that we got running in the background so you guys can visually understand what we're talking about. So he went and took out a copyright strike on us using some of his clips. He didn't file a complaint with his lawyer. He went and cried to YouTube and said, they're using some of my clips to talk about me. So YouTube's policy is when that happens, they remove the video, but then we got a chance to counter that. So YouTube said, okay, if you want to counter it, give us an example why. So we explained fully in the video that Doug and Stacy are public figures. Part of being a public figure means that you're open to ridicule, scrutiny, and people saying whatever they want about you because you have put yourself on a public platform, and now you don't get a say as to what people think about you. You can try, but it doesn't hold in any court.
Well, rejection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Oh,
Next question.
okay.
When you want to go and make hundreds and hundreds of videos and put them on a platform like YouTube, which is open to the public, you are going to be talked about. If you didn't want that, you should get off YouTube. Just like I'm making this video, you guys want to ridicule me? Go for it. You think I care at the end of the day? You think I'm going to lose sleep over a couple of people not agreeing with me? No. But Doug and Stacy will go and file a fake copyright strike, and then YouTube reviewed and they read our argument and said, yeah, this will actually hold in court, and said that the video was going to be reinstated in 10 business days. So YouTube gave Doug and Stacy 10 business days to present YouTube with an actual court document from his lawyer claiming that they are taking us to court and they want to sue us because of the video. And if Doug and Stacy got their lawyers involved and they could present the documents to YouTube, the video would be still removed and we would even get our channel shut down. But instead, after 10 days, Doug didn't present any legal documents, didn't get his lawyer involved, and YouTube reinstated our video and is back up as we speak. So do you need any more proof he's a compulsive liar? He made 3 separate videos saying that he was taking our video down, and YouTube took it down because he got his lawyers involved and he was gonna sue us and make an example out of us.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
Why? Because we lied about him. YouTube didn't think we lied about you. That's why the video is back up. We actually had one other person mention that Doug also picks fights with other people in the homesteading community who he thinks is a threat to him. He publicly attacked Gold Shaw Farms. Check out his channel. Is actually a really genuine, down-to-earth, really good guy. And you can see in the comment section himself, he comes in there and swears at people, calls people idiots, retards, and other words that I can't even use on this platform anymore. It's funny, me and Salisha were talking about this, and when we first released our video, I said, you know, the best thing for him to do is to fully ignore that we even made this video about him and Stacy. Just ignore it, don't watch it, don't comment on it, and it will just kind of disappear in the YouTube algorithm and it will barely get any views. But instead, he himself was one of the very first people in the comment section swearing at people, arguing with people, not debunking what we said, but he's actually in there swearing at people, yelling at people, telling people they're retarded and they don't know what they're talking about, and calling people all sorts of names that the video, like I said, those comments got removed. And it's funny too, I've noticed Doug created a backup channel and he used his backup channel to come into the comment section so that people wouldn't think it's him, and used his backup channel to swear and cuss people out. And I've noticed all of the comments he made with his backup channel are completely gone, which means only one thing, that YouTube removed his comments from his backup channel because they were inappropriate. And I would not be surprised if he actually got a community guidelines violation for swearing at people in the comment section. So I really don't want this video to be long, which it probably is already, but I just wanted to clarify some of the stuff that you guys have been talking about in the comment section and answer some of your questions. I hope we've answered the majority of your questions at least. And if you guys still have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. We will answer them. And honestly, I see a lot of comments where people are in the comment section being like,
who cares? Why do you guys care if Doug and Stacy are lying to people? Who cares if they are? They're still giving good information.
So you're okay with someone lying to you and you will continue to watch those videos? Hey, if that's who you are, go for it. You can listen to liars all you want, but myself, I don't fall for snake oil salesmen. I don't watch a homesteading channel for someone to be like, oh my god, the LGBT is here to get your kids, blah 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 blah, the end of the world is coming, the food supply chain is diminished. Relax. And like I said earlier in the video, a lot of you will bring God into this and Jesus and religion, right? Do you really think any of the prophets, when they were alive, when there was a public figure in their community or in their town or in their village that was lying and misleading people, that they would stay quiet and be like, hey guys, it's to each their own. So what he's misleading people, so what he's lying to people, so what he's doing this all for money. You really think he would do that? Or was Jesus the type that went in there and flipped the tables and started causing a scene because people were disobeying God and doing things they weren't supposed to? Like I said earlier on, it says even in the Bible to be picky and choosy about who you allow in your inner circle, who you allow in your home, who you allow in your church, and who you allow to be your friends, right? So why would you be okay with someone lying? So that's okay that he's lying to hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis because one or two things he says might be true. Is that really it? Wow. And a lot of people have also noticed that Doug has hijacked their YouTube channel. Stacy's barely on there, and when Doug is on there, all he does is rant into the video camera and talk about how the world's coming to an end and the LGBT is out to get your kids. And like I said, Salisha and I are very, very conservative. And just a side note, so I know a lot of you are gonna be like,
why should I listen to you guys? You guys only get like 2, 3, 4, 500 views a video.
We've been on YouTube for over 10 years, just so you know. We've had multiple channels. One of our channels actually was one of the very, very first channels to get shadow banned on YouTube. Why? Because we are conservatives and we talk about politics on that channel. And we were one of the very, very first channels on YouTube to get shadow banned. So don't even start with that stuff because we are politically aware. We are aware of what's happening in our community and when it comes to politics. And like I said, we are very conservative. And even if you're not, we're not the type that cares. You want to watch our videos and come along for the ride, you're welcome. I'm saying this because some of you are in the comment section being like,
oh, you guys must be a bunch of snowflake liberals. That's why you don't like Doug and Stacy.
Right. I don't like Doug and Stacy because he's fake. He's misleading people, pretending to be Amish when the guy's Jewish. So Salisha was gonna be in this video where we were gonna talk about the whole video we made about Doug and Stacy. She was gonna be in the video, but she kind of got a sour taste in her mouth from this whole situation, from especially with all the racist comments some of Doug and Stacy's followers are leaving in the comment section. And it's just very telling that a lot of his followers resort to that because we just so happen to talk about their cult leader. And if he isn't a cult leader, why else would you be okay with him lying to people and you're still like...
Well, one thing he said in 1 month out of 10 videos was true, so therefore I'm gonna keep watching him.
Good luck with that. The rest of us, we're not into buying products from snake oil salesmen, and we're not here to get lied to and misled and people trying to convince us to build a concrete slab so we could start our own logging business when he doesn't do it himself. Some of you have even accused us of clickbaiting. So let me explain something. If the title of the video is exactly what the video is about, it's not clickbait, okay? I know some of you people who follow Doug and Stacy channel might be a little bit older, so that's not what clickbait means. A lot of you have also criticized us for criticizing being off-grid, and the whole point we were trying to make is that it's our opinion that off-grid is not as functionable and as reliable as some people might think it is, like compared to being on-grid. So I'll give you an example, like where we live, maybe a 3-minute drive, there's a lady and her family that have been off-grid for over 10 years. This year, she told me there was a span of 2.5 months where their generator was running non-stop every single day. Do you think Doug and Stacy will tell people anything remotely when it comes to the truth about being off-grid and being on solar panels and only having such few solar panels, and you can have enough power to upload videos, edit videos, and run everything else in your shoebox. But in reality, a lot of them are running gas generators, and I know this is taboo and something the off-grid community doesn't like to talk about, but that's the reality of it. Do you think they're going on their channel and telling people the truth about being off-grid, and that there is constant maintenance involved in being off-grid and having solar panels? I don't want to come off like we're haters, because we're not. There are a lot of great off-grid and homesteading and farming and gardening channels out there that aren't fear-mongering and lying to people and doing it for profits necessarily, or only making a video when a sponsor gives them this solar oven, and the only time they ever use it or talk about it is in the video where they're promoting it and giving you their coupon code. We're not trying to be hateful towards other off-gridders. Maybe you need to like think twice before you think all of these people, and especially Doug and Stacy, are making these videos out of the goodness of their hearts because they like you so much, and that's why they make videos, not because they're actually making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a video. And do you think he would even get that many views if he didn't dress like an Amish person and mislead people who are new to his channel to think that this is an old pious man who lives off grid, and him and Stacy work hard every day and are self-sufficient? Just like we criticize them claiming they're feeding their whole family just themselves off their raised beds. Anyone who's telling you that they're feeding their whole family off their raised beds alone and that they're not going to the grocery store is lying to you. And at the end of the day, all we're trying to say is that there's a lot of real, genuine, good YouTubers out there that aren't lying and misleading people, and it's abundant, the number of people that are out there that don't have necessarily 1 million followers, but at least they're not lying to you and selling you snake oil. Like Justin Rhodes or Goldshaw Farms, 2 great channels that we watch all the time, or Living Traditions is also a really great channel, and they're such a like good, genuine couple to watch, and you can tell when you watch the real and the fakes. So all we're trying to say is that just watch out for the fakes. Unless you've already drank the Kool-Aid and you like your cult leader, what can I tell you? But I find it very interesting because even a lot of you have even mentioned this in the comment section, and a lot of you have pointed out that when Doug and Stacy first started their channel, and not that it matters what religion he is, but the fact, and I'll explain why I'm talking about this, because some people on here, on YouTube, are not what they present themselves to be. So that right there is a perfect example of an opportunist. I mean, if you will flip-flop your own religion just based on views, says a lot about you. And honestly, you can be whatever religion you want, but I just see an issue with someone pretending to be something they're not. And if you guys still don't believe what I'm telling you is the truth, try asking him. Try going in the comment section, or try emailing him and asking him about everything I just mentioned today, and see the response, if he will even respond to you.
Well, who cares if he's lying to people? Who cares if Doug and Stacy lie and manipulate and mislead people? Because I've learned a lot of good information from them.
As if they're the beacon of truth, and they invented being off-grid, homesteading, farming, as if they invented it, and without Doug and Stacy, we would not know what to do. All of our livestock would die, our garden beds would just dry up, and everything would perish. And my point is, even if we didn't have Doug and Stacy, there is good information out there, but the problem is YouTube will promote channels like Doug and Stacy like crazy, and then the real homesteaders, they just kind of get swept to the side and nobody hears about them. And then a lot of you think that this information is specifically exclusive to Doug and Stacy, when this information, even the stuff that they talk about, is all over the internet. There is not just hundreds, thousands of channels out there talking about homesteading, being off-grid, and actually a lot more like relatable than a guy who's wearing a costume. It's funny, some of you even wrote a comment about, oh, look at the type of clothes you guys wear. Look at how you guys are dressed. You can't be real. So what, because we wear nice clothing? Because we dress nice? Because we take care of ourselves, all of a sudden we're fake? Or we're not real homesteaders? Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you go check the original video we made in the comments section below. And I know some of you have asked us to do some videos about some of the other fake homesteaders and off-gridders. And if you guys do want that, if enough of you guys say that in the comment section, we'll expose some more fake phonies out there. But for now, thanks for watching. Make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, if you haven't watched the original video, it's going to be in the comment section below. Peace.